What's good, YouTube? What's good? I'm your host, Fresh. This is Travel Talk, and this is part two. So we're going to get right into it today. On episode two, we'll be talking about Greensboro, North Carolina. One thing I can say about Greensboro, North Carolina is I like Greensboro, North Carolina. It's a chill vibe. It's a city. If you ain't never been to Greensboro, North Carolina, you need to check it out. If you're coming from the north, moving south, this might be one of your locations to move into. And the reason why I say Greensboro, North Carolina is a good location to move to because one, they have jobs. Two, they have attractions. Three, they have culture. And the reason why I say Greensboro is one of the places that you would like to move to is because Greensboro is not a small city, but neither a big city. Greensboro have a population of about 301,000 people as of 2022 in the U.S. Census, and it has a metropolitan population of 1.6 million people in the metropolitan of Greensboro, North Carolina. So, guys, we're not talking about a city that's extremely huge or extremely small. It's about a mid-sized city. It's a little bit bigger from the city where I'm from. I'm from Roanoke, Virginia, if you all didn't know. Guys, check out my First Visions channel. Like and subscribe. Hit that like button. Subscribe. We're trying to get up to 500 subscribers. Let's make it happen. Back to Greensboro. Greensboro was founded, I want to say, in 1808. I'm not sure. I'm from Virginia, so check me, guys. If you're from North Carolina, if you're from Greensboro, check me on it. Fact check me. I'm not going to get mad at you. Like I said on my last travel talk video, check me. If I'm wrong, you have every right to check me, and I'm not going to be mad at you. So I'm thinking it was founded in 1808, and the history uh, is Quakers moved down to Greensboro, North Carolina, back in 1750, I want to say, and they migrated down south to North Carolina. It wasn't North Carolina back then, but they migrated down there, and they seen it was open season. You know, of course, the Indians was down there during that time, but we're not going to get deep into history. But things, other things I can say about Greensboro is they had a civil war down there, and you know, during the Civil War time, that was Confederate, so there's a lot of Confederate history around there, and probably somewhere located in Greensboro. You can check out your local museums on the history of the Civil War. The Civil Rights Movement was also started in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I want to say that started back in the 1960s. And Martin Luther King came down there. That's where it all started, the Civil Rights Movement. And Martin Luther King came down there to speak to the people, and he also marched down in Greensboro, North Carolina. So that's another artifact that you want to look at. While you're down there, check out my video on Fresh Visions because I did a walkthrough downtown Greensboro, North Carolina, and I walked up to the International Civil Rights Museum right there in the heart of Greensboro, North Carolina. So check that video out, guys. Like and subscribe. Back to what I'm saying. Greensboro industrial and growth started in the early 1900s. It was originally the Cone brothers, and they established a large-scale textile plant. So the history of Greensboro started with their textile, not going way back with the Quakers or whatnot. I'm talking about in the early 1900s, where civilization really started to move in. They started with manufacturing. So this is a manufacturing city that was built off of textile. And people migrated down there for jobs or whatnot. And around that time, I guess that's when architecture started in the 20th century and where we started to see more, you know, slavery had just ended or whatnot. And people were starting their jobs and their livelihood right there in Greensboro, North Carolina. Greensboro also has three universities, I want to say. The University of Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm not sure, but I want to say High Point, North Carolina is down there. There are HBCUs like A&T and probably a community college and many more. So, guys, you know, in the comments, leave some more universities because some people, women and men are moving from the north. They're moving south, and they want to know about these cities. So, guys, you know, this is things that we need. If not just me, but you can leave a comment to let some of the other people that's looking at my travel talk know more about your city because you are from there. I'm just talking about it. All right, let's keep on going. What else can I say? They had a massacre back in 1979. Now, I don't want to get real deep into it, guys, about the massacre, but we all know it was not nothing nice when anything happens with a massacre, even in back in 79. And we had, like, that was 200 years ago, but that wasn't that long ago. I was born in 88, so that was 11 years after before I was born. So we'll keep it moving. Downtown Greensboro. What can I say about downtown Greensboro? It is beautiful. If you have never been to Greensboro, it's a city that you want to experience. Like I sit there and say, it's not too big, it's not too small. It gives you that southern feel when you're in Greensboro. I'm from Virginia, and I already understand the southern feel because it's similar to Greensboro. Roanoke, to me, is a smaller version of Greensboro. We have about 105, 110,000 people in Roanoke. And Greensboro has about 300 some thousand people. So it's 2 times bigger than Roanoke, but I can say this much about Greensboro. It feels like a Roanoke similarity to me, but not like Roanoke. Roanoke has the mountains, Greensboro don't have mountains. But on the same scale, I can compare Greensboro to Roanoke. A short fact, I wanted to move down to Greensboro when I was much younger, and I heard they had all these manufacturing jobs, and if I didn't find nothing in manufacturing, I was gonna look up something in healthcare. Well, that all went out the window because the reason why I didn't move to Greensboro, I found out it costs a little bit more. So, guys, if you're moving to Greensboro, North Carolina, it's not very expensive, but also it's not very cheap. So you got to put that into mind. So when you think about moving somewhere, I'm gonna use me for example. One thing you don't do is just don't move down to a city because you heard it's popping or this is the city where I want to be at because my homie said it was nice. No, you want to look into a city first and establish yourself, meaning look for a job. That's where I went wrong. I wanted to just move down there because I heard the big hype about Greensboro and the clubs down there and the mall and what and this and that. But guys, what I failed to realize was I wasn't using this. And you have to use your head before you make a move to any city. Back to what I'm saying. Greensboro has a huge mall called Four Seasons. If you've never been to Greensboro, it's a nice sized mall in Greensboro. I'm not gonna say it's the biggest mall in North Carolina because I don't know. I'm not from North Carolina, and I'm from Virginia, and I don't even know the biggest mall in Virginia. So I don't know if it's the biggest mall in North Carolina, but I can tell you one thing. Yeah, I think it has 3 or 4 stories. So 3 or 4 stories going up and down that mall is whole lot of stores. That's what I'm trying to say. So check out the Four Seasons down in Greensboro, North Carolina. The Triad also is known for High Point, North Carolina, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and Greensboro. So guys, if you're not interested in things that's going on in Greensboro, you have 3 other cities close by. Maybe you can be within these cities within an hour or so of all 3 of them, maybe an hour and a half at the most. But say, for instance, you in Greensboro, North Carolina, and you want to go party in Winston-Salem, guys, you can live in Greensboro, North Carolina, and you can party in Winston-Salem and be back in your hometown within maybe an hour or less. I'm not sure. I didn't did videos in Winston-Salem. Check that out also, guys. Check out Winston-Salem. I did a walkthrough in Winston-Salem downtown. So check that out on Fresh Visions. Hit that like and subscribe button also. We're trying to get up to 500 subscribers. Let's make it happen. But back to what I'm saying. Guys, the thing about Greensboro is, like I was saying, you could party in Winston-Salem and be back in Greensboro in time to get ready for sleep and ready for work in the morning. Guys, that's the privilege of living in Greensboro, North Carolina. Everything is close by. And if them 2 cities ain't big enough for you, you got Durham. You have Raleigh, North Carolina. You have Charlotte, North Carolina. How can I forget Charlotte, North Carolina, guys? Guys, if you're living in Greensboro and you don't want to pay the prices that's offered in Charlotte, meaning rent, if you don't want to pay rent or mortgage in Charlotte, North Carolina, you can always choose Greensboro, North Carolina. And the privilege of that is you can move down to Greensboro, North Carolina, and also party in Charlotte, which is maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours at the most. So you could also party in Charlotte, North Carolina, or go to a football, a major national football game in Green, or a national basketball game in Charlotte, North Carolina, and can be back in time for supper to wash up, eat, get ready to go to sleep, and go to work in the morning. That is the privilege of living in Greensboro, North Carolina. So, guys, you want to look into Greensboro, North Carolina. Greensboro is also known for 4 seasons. They have all 4 seasons. Some guys and girls don't want all 4 seasons. They want it to be hot all year round or cold all year round. Well, guess what? Greensboro is not going to be the place for you. And I'm going to keep it real with you because they have all 4 seasons. They have summer, winter, spring, and fall. They have all 4 seasons. So if you're one of them individuals that don't want to be in the cold, some nights it might be 35, 25 degrees. Other nights it could be 45, 55 degrees in the winter. I'm talking winter. In the summer it could get up and it could probably be humid because I'm from Roanoke and we're 2 hours away from Greensboro. So I'm thinking that weather's not going to change too much within 2 hours, but it could. But I don't think it would. So you're looking at during the summertime, you're looking at a good 95 to some days, maybe even 100 degrees with the humidity. Other days, you're looking at a clean 85, 84 during the summer. During the spring, you're looking at 65 to 74 degrees in the spring. And in the fall, you're looking at about, I want to say, we get down in the cold weather in the fall. So let's just say from 70, that's on a high day, to maybe 55 on a high day. And that's in the fall. So guys, the climate does change. You have all 4 seasons, which is a privilege for some people because some people don't want it to be hot all year round or cold all year round. They want to experience all 4 seasons. In Greensboro, you can experience all 4 seasons. Greensboro is also known for their attractions. They have the International Civil Rights Museum. They also have Emerald Point, which is like I say, something like a Carowinds, but on a smaller scale. They have Wet and Wild. And if you want to go to Carowinds, guys, you can drive 2 hours to Charlotte, North Carolina, and experience Carowinds. If you're a party person, there are plenty of clubs in Greensboro. You can party all night long. If you're into food, they got all type of different restaurants and cuisines. You can check that out. If that's not good enough for you, you can travel over to Winston-Salem, High Point, do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? So, to enjoy life, sometimes you got to move. If you're moving from up north because the cost of living is just choking you and the price is just outrageous, look into Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm your host, Fresh. That's all I got to say about Greensboro, North Carolina. Check them out once again. Check out Greensboro, North Carolina. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe. Click on that notification. It's your boy Fresh. I'm out.